Aldgate East Station, just next to the Whitechapel Art Gallery, and we are going to see very interesting place today. This one. I'm first time here and I'm very excited because it looks like online very amazing. I have never been in such a place, so I'm looking for books about anarchism and in general, and I'm looking for a publishing house for myself. Because I've got thousands of drawings to show, to publish, and unfortunately I can't do it so far. Anyway, let's check what is inside. We are lucky they are open. Wow, amazing place. I just spent too much money like for a poor artist. Highly recommended. A lot of literature about anarchism in general, about which I know something but not too much as well, so it's like for me library which I will explore in the future. I'll show you what I bought in a second. So take a look at my new pants, my treasures, trousers. Anyway, so I painted them with minuses. Those are minuses because I constantly I have problem with money. So minuses. Anyway. So I'm back home. Freedom Bookshop on Whitechapel. If you want to know more about this place, just read on Wikipedia about Freedom Press. It's a place with a very long history, which is worth to know. And like I will not go into details because there's a lot to say. Lovely place from my perspective. I can say that it's a lovely place. A lot of books, like introductions to the subject and just history of the movement. So it's very good for me because I'm not like into history in general, and I don't know too much about anarchism, let's say. I've got my own definitions of anarchism, I would say, as an artist, and it's like I am more into individualism and this all of that social aspects of anarchism are anarchism are like there is a lot of complexity, let's say, to this subject. So I think that when you've got one person, it's easy to say what is freedom, but when you've got two people, you've got already a lot of problems. And when you've got social structures like countries or just a large group of people, you simply you are dealing with huge complexity. And I am not I don't think that there is anyone who can like grasp this kind of problems properly, to really theoretically grasp how to solve some problems. Anyway, I bought a few books, and there's a few of my choices, and I will explain why those are my choices. So, class struggle and mental health. Interesting position from my point of view, because I had some history of mental health issues. That's a collective work, and I'm very interested in any kind of alternative solutions to so-called mental health issues. And I don't think that there is anything like mental that you can be mentally ill in general. You can have some brain damage, and if you can really spot that, then you can say that it's an illness, but that's a very complex issue when it comes to mental health, because we can't easily spot any physical causes of mental illnesses. So that's why I think mental illness is more like philosophical, maybe social or political issue than like a part of like part of medicine, let's say. This is not a medical problem very often. It's a social problem, and it's like it's simply very complex, because this kind of problems can be caused by economy and economical struggle. That's why class struggle and mental health, that's like a title for me, perfectly like perfect for me. I just wonder what kind of stories can are told in that book, and I am just curious if I will agree. But I expect that as a like individualist, every like more social, let's say, solution will seems to let's say too radical for me, because very often I think it's like psychological engineering, and trying to change person which doesn't have to be changed. Yeah, so social dynamic is always complex, and I just that's I'll maybe make some video about this book in the future. Another one, Fragments of an Anarchist Anthropology, David Graeber. He recently died. It was quite recent and quite sudden death, caused, as far as I could uh, as far as as we know from Wikipedia, it was caused by some complications connected with COVID-19. So tragic, a tragic thing. Anyway, I am interested in the guy because I've watched some lectures of his lectures on YouTube, and it was very interesting. Uh, anyway, I don't know many people which are writing about anarchism in general. So, and like for me, anthropology of is like a very interesting field of research, let's say. Uh, and when it comes to social structures, I think anthropologists can say a lot. Yeah, so David Graeber, known from books like Bullshit Jobs, or The Dawn of Everything, A New History of Humanity. Those are the most recent. Yeah, but it's a very well known intellectual, so I will not go further with explanation. Anyway, and another one, Defense of Anarchist Communism. Brian Morris is another another anthropologist uh, which is writing about anarchism. I took this one not only because it's cheap and small, but because I just want to, because I am into like individualism, and I think that we should treat person as a separate entity than society in general. And of course we are interconnected and everything is connected, and of course I am like a socialist, and I think that we always have to take broader picture, like when we solve problems. But when it comes to society, the most troubling thing for me is like normatism, and trying to, and the when there is more than two people, we've got trouble with norms and rules, and if we will try to imagine society, and especially perfectly functioning society, we'll have a lot of problems there, because we simply maybe will be not able to avoid some restrictions, let's say. So so I want to challenge my individualistic point of view, which is also, I've got this view because of my history of mental health issues, and I am like a skeptic when it comes to human interaction in general, because as far as I know, people they are not able to. Very many people just don't want even to understand another human being. So when it comes to global visions of perfectly functioning society, I am very skeptical. So that's why that book and like I think that author want to challenge some like common views of anarchist intellectuals like Noam Chomsky, uh, and well-known anarchists from history. So it will be nice read, I think. Anyway, that's another choice. And another choice of mine is Brian Martin, Strip the Experts. Nice drawing, by the way, on the cover. Whoever made it, it's a nice one. It's an old one. It's 1991, Freedom Press. So the author is a physicist, but he's also a social scientist. It's a controversial person as far as I read from Wikipedia, but he's writing about science here, and scientific methods. So I'm very much into like philosophy of science, and people like philosophers like Paul Feyerabend, and his anarchistic views. It's one of my favorite like opinions about philosophy of science. So like I want to have broader picture about anyone who is criticizing scientific methods, and like this and this conviction that scientific method is very well defined, and that's like we can teach science at school. Any of that kind of view is interesting for me, because as a, let's say, intellectually creative person, I've got this opinion that you simply, it's not about very strict rules and methods. It's more about flow and intuitions and radical ideas which are against paradigms. And simply, if you are teaching like so-called basics, you are imprinting in some limitations of thinking in that way. So I've got this opinion that anything goes in general. So the more individualistic you are, it's probably more probable that you find something interesting as a scientist. That's my opinion. Anyway, I don't know precisely what that book is about. I can imagine that it can address some of that issues which I just mentioned. So, but this person have some controversial like claims, as far as I know, like that. Yeah, there is this one sentence: Martin has been criticized for supporting the incorrect proposal that oral polio vaccine caused AIDS. So maybe it's not the best scientist, but of course it's a like well-known person with scientific background. So for sure he had more claims, and some of them were more truthful, let's say. Yeah, but anyway, anything which is trying to find some other way of making science, and any of that kind of person is interesting for me. So that's another one. Yeah, and last one. I've spent too much money again in the bookshop. I shouldn't do it. We've got permanent crisis, isn't it? So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much. Highly recommended bookshop, Freedom Bookshop, Whitechapel. Take care.